Burnout is that feeling of chronic physical and emotional fatigue that slowly builds over time until eventually you reach exhaustion, and then something has to give. And for a lot of people, those are feelings of depression and anxiety, or potentially even worse, where in healthcare, we see that medical students have rates of depression and anxiety as high as 30%, according to one study that pooled 130,000 survey responses across 43 countries. And they also found that suicidal ideation rates were as high as 11.1%. In Canada, the statistics are similar, where upwards of 1/3 of doctors are estimated to be at burnout, also with some sharing histories of suicidal thoughts in the last year, and upwards of 37% of medical students being at burnout. And another study from the University of Calgary this past fall, surveying their own students, finding that 26% of surveyed students shared that they were diagnosed with a mental health related illness during medical school. Burnout is real, including in healthcare, and it's okay to ask for help. And I hope that these simple steps help you avoid burnout or overcome it if you've already reached it. One of the first things to do is not be afraid to say no. No matter where you are in your career, there's always going to be opportunities, and it's so easy to say yes to all of them. However, eventually you look at your schedule and you realize that not only is it full, it's likely beyond capacity, and something has to give. And likely, and quite often, those are things that you enjoy and are important for your work-life balance. Your mental health matters, and eventually those opportunities do not outweigh the benefits of maintaining your mental health and wellness. So my first piece of advice is not being afraid to say no at times, especially if it means maintaining those things that are vital to maintaining your own personal health in healthcare and outside of healthcare. The second thing to think about is to prioritize what makes you happy in your personal life and your work life. And that may also mean getting rid of some of the things that do make you somewhat happy to make room for the things that truly are your passion outside of work. That could be drawing, that could be playing music or another hobby, or especially exercise, as you know I like to talk about because of the benefits, including mental health related benefits. But it could be anything. And it's okay to prioritize what makes you happy over the other things that are causing noise in your life. Because if you make the long list, I guarantee you that there will be at least a number of items on that list that really are not absolute musts and are still draining some of your energy every single day, taking that energy away from things that truly bring you joy. And when you find that list and you make the list of things that bring you joy and happiness outside of work, my advice would be to put them in your work schedule so you see it as equally important to your day in and day out routine. That could be walking around the block when you get home from work, or blocking off time for your hobby on a weekend or a weeknight. If it's in your schedule, subconsciously you're telling yourself it's equally as important to the other to-do list items on that list. The next thing to consider is to not bite off more than you can chew when it comes to lifestyle change. A lot of the times when somebody hits burnout, they immediately overreact almost and make a long list of things they want to do to improve their health and wellness. Potentially seeing a counselor, starting exercise, training for a marathon, starting a weight loss challenge, you name it. And all of a sudden, the overwhelmed feeling of work has been applied and is now as an overwhelmed feeling of lifestyle change that also creates stress. One bite at a time, one step at a time. And that may mean also putting exercise on hold if it means making room for the things that truly bring you joy. As I mentioned, it could be a hobby, drawing, playing music, you name it. One step at a time, and then slowly but surely integrate those things back into your life to create more balance. And of course, the last thing to consider, even in healthcare, is that it's okay to be human. It's okay not to be perfect. It's okay not to be a machine. And it's okay to ask for help. We live in a culture in healthcare and outside of healthcare where it's almost celebrated to be busy, or the busiest among your friends and your peers and your colleagues. It's okay to not want to be that person, or to also try and find work-life balance while being successful in your career. and it's okay to not strive to feel like a machine. I think in the year 2020, it's important for all of us to support each other, including in healthcare. Recently, I've seen a number of veteran colleagues in medicine post stories about their own lifestyle changes over the last year. And I've found that really motivating as a new family physician, because it proves to me that balance is possible, and also that change is possible at any point in your career. And when you look at those stories, those are also physicians who have made the choice, who have chosen to take a step back and reprioritize the long list of commitments they have in their life. And when one of you sees success, feel free to reach out to a colleague in need or to lend that listening ear, because we're all in this together. If you like today's video, be sure to subscribe so you get notified every time I post a new video, and hit the like button. It truly makes a difference. I'll see you next time.